All right, hello, everybody. Hello, and what is up? DSP here, live on the stream. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How are you? Hopefully I find you well this lovely Friday. That's right, folks. It's Friday. I know you guys are super excited for a Friday fun day stream. First, we'll be playing Fortnite the entire stream. We'll be throwing glitter around and building big towers and using bounce pads and fun cartoonish parachutes to be going behind each other and hit each other with sparkles and rockets. It's great. It's going to be a great day. No, that's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing. I could easily be doing that and say, oh, let's just jump on the viral popularity of a game that I don't like, but I'm not going to do that because that's not what I'm all about. You guys know me. Welcome, folks, to my Friday stream. In fact, today will be a double stream day, but it is going to be the same subject matter for both of my streams. All right. What are we doing today? Well, I will tell you right now what we're doing today, ladies and gents. Today, we are replaying. If you're not aware, well, not replaying. Let me say that again. We are playing a game that was very popular at a time of release when it came out. I never played it, all right? As you guys know, I'm not a huge racing game fan when it comes to driving, racing sims, even arcade-style racers. I don't necessarily play them that often, and when I do, it's usually quite the interesting experience. The last driving racing game that I played was Need for Speed Payback. Ugh, you all know what I think about that game. That game was pretty bad. Before that, it was over a year before that. It was Forza Horizon 3, was it? Or was it either Forza Horizon 2 or Horizon 3? And then, crap, before that, I couldn't even tell you what the racing game before that one was. So, just to give you guys some perspective here. Alright. I rarely play this style of game. When I do, it's a rarity where, you know, it could be hit or miss. Sometimes it's really fun and it ends up being entertaining for all, for the good reasons. Other times it's really frustrating for me and I suck and I have to basically tough my way through it. And it becomes entertaining for the viewer for a completely different style of reason. All right. So, you know, throwback to Need for Speed Payback. That's exactly what that game was. All right. That game was me literally suffering through a game that really, in my opinion, was subpar, poorly designed, poorly implemented. Everything about that game was poor. So we're going to see. How will I tackle Burnout Paradise Remastered? That's right, Burnout Paradise. Again, one of the games that's held in high regard of people who like the Burnout franchise. I've never played it. So in that regard, I can't even give you a frame of perspective and say, oh, you know, well, I played this Burnout game, so let's see how this one is. I've never even done that before, so I don't know what to expect at all. Honestly, I don't know what this game is. I guess we're going to find out, okay? So let's talk. Why am I playing this? What's going on? Well, first of all, this is a remastered re-release. If you're not aware, the original game, I believe, Burnout Paradise, wasn't this like an Xbox 360/PS3 title? Am I wrong there? I think it was, and I think this was back in the day when I was, you know, getting into consoles again, but I wasn't playing every single game, you know what I mean? Like, I certainly was not playing racing games. If you remember, back in the day, the first racing game that I had ever played was MotorStorm Apocalypse. So anything before that, I never experienced, right? So I definitely missed out on Burnout Paradise. Never played it before. So what is this? This is supposed to be a remastered version for modern consoles. Number one, the graphics have improved supposedly. And we're going to see firsthand here today, guys. Supposedly it's supposed to run at full 60 frames per second. I mean, I'll be honest. In my opinion, any racing game moving forward should be 60 frames. It just makes it easier to control. It makes it an overall better experience. I can't believe that Need for Speed Payback that I played last year was only 30. I mean, that was pathetic in my opinion. Okay. So, I really enjoyed games that are at 60 frames. I really feel that driving games should be 60 frames. Therefore, this game supposedly runs at 60 frames. We'll see, but it's supposed to. So that's number one. Number two, supposedly it's supposed to have all the DLC content that the original game had. Okay, so we'll see again. You know, what content was that? I don't know. I never played the original, so I don't know if it added a significant amount of new cars, new races. You know, are there any new story elements added to the game because of the DLC? Or was it just like, you know, one-off racing circuits and the like? I have no idea. All right, I have absolutely no idea. We're going to have to find out. So that's it, you know. 2 reasons to play it. Full 60 frames on consoles and all the DLC content included, all right? So, is it a brand new game release? Well, yes, technically it is, but no, it isn't. It's kind of one of those, well, it's a remaster. So, yes, technically it's a new game release. It had never been on PS4 before. But no, it's not a brand new game. It's been out for a million years. And this is just an opportunity to make an extra buck on a remastered version of it, right? For me, this is an ample opportunity because, again, I never played the original game. So, it's cool for me to be able to experience it for the first time this way. So, that's neat. Now, today, folks, I'm going to be playing Burnout Paradise all day long, okay? It's going to be this first stream, about 4 hours of gameplay. And then later tonight, my second stream for around 2 hours. So I'll be getting in roughly, give or take, 6 hours of Need for Speed Paradise gameplay here on today's gameplay streams, all right? That's cool. For, you know, new release day, people want to see me play a racing game, you're going to get exactly what you wished for today, all right? Especially for those of you who've been very, very bored with the stuff I've been putting out recently, including games like Heavy Rain, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Bully. You know, these are all playthroughs I've played before, and these have been throwback playthroughs where I am only playing those games because it is my 10-year anniversary of being a content creator on YouTube, because those games and playthroughs were synonymous with greatness, right? A lot of those were the games that when I played them, they made me popular on YouTube with those original playthroughs, and people were just wondering, gee, if Philip were to play them again, it would be a nice homage to his legacy of 10 years of being a creator, and, you know, to see him replay them would be pretty neat. So that's why I did them. But that being said, I definitely think that it's time for something new. So I'm glad that you know, even though it's not necessarily a brand new game release, playing Burnout Paradise Remastered puts some variety now into the schedule. Hopefully we'll see some people come back to watch who maybe have been away for a while and are interested to see me do stuff I've never done before. Hopefully over this weekend we'll get some of those people back, okay? Alright, so that being said, it's going to be fun all day today, Burnout Paradise. Tomorrow, Saturday, it'll be more Burnout Paradise on my first stream, and then Saturday night will be PUBG returning. And this, folks, just to forewarn everyone, especially if you're a fan of my PUBG content, it's this simple. PUBG is going on hiatus, pretty much. If you guys aren't aware, starting today, you know, this is kind of the opening of the floodgates of new content, if you're not aware. You got Burnout Paradise today, but then next week we've got 3 new releases. The week after that, we've got 2 new releases. And this is going to continue. You know, as we head into April, we're going to have big new releases coming out that are going to be, you know, taking up time and are going to be, you know, making it too busy for me to kind of go back to downtime stuff, all right? So I'm certainly not saying I would never playing PUBG again, or, you know, if something's happened horrible with PUBG and I hate it. That's not the case. The thing is, I'm going to be so busy with new game releases, I don't possibly see how I'm going to continue to play PUBG on a regular basis, all right? What I'll probably be trying to do is mix it in every once in a while. Maybe I'll have a night or an odd night where there's, you know, some time, nothing really important going on. Then I'll do a random PUBG session. But for the most part, PUBG is going to be going, you know, on hold. Tomorrow night, Saturday night, will be the final major session that I do of it in some time, all right? So for those of you who like PUBG, those of you who have liked the streams of PUBG where they're far more interactive and interesting in that regard because you get to talk with me a lot, it's basically like a Q&A session, please be here Saturday night to check that out, all right? Then Sunday will still be Burnout Paradise Remastered, all right? That'll be the main stream on Sunday. There will not be a second stream on Sunday because I'll be doing the weekend preview. I'll be doing some Patreon stuff, and I got some stuff to do around the house. Monday, double streams return. with Burnout Paradise Remastered on the main stream Monday. And then Monday night, I'll be concluding Bully. I know, I thought that I had already would have concluded it yesterday, but it didn't happen. I was very close, but it didn't happen. So I'm doing one more minor streaming session Monday night. I'll wrap up the story, and then any other side content that I feel that I want to try to attempt, that'll all be done Monday night, okay? There you go. Now, Tuesday, ladies and gents, is the big one. Yes, folks, Tuesday is the big one. If you're not aware, Tuesday is both the release of Sea of Thieves, as well as South Park The Fractured Butthole's first DLC story called something about Casa Bonita. I'm not exactly sure the full name, but something about the Casa Bonita restaurant, which was part of the show, the television show, okay? So, starting on Tuesday will be my first 3 days of Sea of Thieves co-op, where people who post up on my forums at thekingofhate.com are going to be teaming up with me both Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, my main gameplay stream. So we're putting in about 12 hours of Sea of Thieves gameplay during the first 3 days of release, where I'll be doing co-op with these guys, trying to figure out the ropes. How do you keep a boat going? How can we find treasure? Can we, hold off the other humans? What do we do? We're going to find deep dive into this game for 3 straight days to figure out exactly what this game is about. And, see if it's something that I would be interested in doing as an ongoing series. Maybe Sea of Thieves would be something great as an ongoing series. Or maybe it's just something I try out and I go, it's not my cup of tea. Or who knows, I have no idea because I'm not playing it. I haven't watched anything of it. But I'm reserving 3 sessions for co-op of this game during the release. All right, so that's going to be starting on Tuesday. And then every night, what I'll be doing is pairing Sea of Thieves with that South Park DLC. So you've got the combination of, Sea of Thieves launch coverage with a fun South Park DLC. It'll be great. 3 straight days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Boom, boom, boom. Great stuff, right? And then Friday of next week, which would be exactly 1 week from today, is my day off. So the first day off in over a week. It'll be 8 straight days of streaming for me at that point. And then when I come back that Saturday, which will be the 24th, then I'm going to begin my Ni no Kuni 2 playthrough. So I'll be balancing probably either Burnout or Sea of Thieves with Ni no Kuni 2. Going into that next week, which, by the way, the final week of March is Far Cry 5 and the final Batman episode. So we've got a ton of stuff, new stuff, coming out for you here live on the streams on a daily basis. Today is day 2 of 8 straight days of streaming for me. It's going to be good. It's going to be good, and hopefully you guys are looking forward to it. Seriously, because, like I said, it's been pretty, not necessarily dead, but you can tell when there's not that new game, new release hype around, and when it's just a core group of people watching something versus when there's, other newcomers coming in to watch a new game and stuff like that, all right? So there you go. So I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. There's the rough schedule that you can expect for the next, several days or whatever. Sounds good? All right, guys. So is there anything else in particular I'd like to address before we get started here? I'm trying to think if there's anything I want to bring up or mention. I haven't really, there's not really much in the realm of like new news or anything going on right now. That's why you guys may notice, so every other month, usually I try to do like either a podcast or Ask the King. Well, last month I did Ask the King, and this month would have been the month for the podcast. If you haven't noticed, guys, I haven't scheduled a podcast, and you may be wondering why. It's very simple. There's really nothing going on and nothing to talk about. If it were next month, then I'd be like, oh, I could talk about all the new games that had come out and I've played, and I could give kind of mini reviews and cover all the new games coming up and E3 hype and all that. But really, it's too early. There's nothing going on right now. In regards to me doing like a podcast, I wouldn't have anything to really talk about. So I'm not going to be doing a Hate Live this month. Normally I would be, but I think I'm just going to forego it. Let's save it until there really is a reason for it. Like, for example, if I do Hate Live in May, so now I could literally go through all the games I played in March and April, all the new releases, let you know what I thought about them, and then I can hype up the games coming out around May, and then I could hype E3, plus, you know, anything else going on in the world at that point. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. You know, why wait, or why rush it and put out a Hate Live podcast now when really there's not a lot going on, right? So that's what I'm kind of thinking. For those wondering, I don't know if anyone was wondering, gee, why hasn't Phil done a podcast in so long? But that's why. Also, in regards to DSP Tries It, I have gotten some questions. Why on earth hasn't Phil done a DSP Tries It in over a month? I'll be quite honest with you. There really hasn't been anything worth doing. I've been keeping my eyes open, and the only thing that I've seen is Arby's had new sandwiches that aren't new. If you actually look at the sandwiches Arby's had, all they did was take ingredients they already had from other sandwiches and slap them together in a different combination. So, for example, instead of their normal Reuben, it's the New York Reuben, which has like slightly more meat or something like that. You know, stupid. That's not a new sandwich. You already had a Reuben. It kind of the same thing like they have a Cuban sandwich, which is just ingredients they already had plus one single slice of like pork or something. It's not new. So I haven't really been desperate to go out and buy fast food. And by the way, I'll be honest with you guys, since Kat has moved in with me, I'm barely eating any fast food at all. I mean, at the most, once a week. And even when we go out, we usually get the healthier stuff. Like last week, we got this place called Baja Fresh, which is a chain where you go in and they make all your food fresh style Mexican food. So I ended up getting a big chicken burrito and she got chicken tacos. But I had already reviewed Baja Fresh 4 years ago when I first moved here. So I'm not going to do another DSP Tries It on it. You see what I mean? That's kind of the situation I've been in where there's just nothing to do in DSP Tries It right now. Someone told me that apparently they have a new spicy chicken sandwich at Burger King. So I'm going to look into that. And if it is true, maybe I'll try that. But outside of that, there's really nothing in the realm of food. So that's why you haven't seen DSP Tries It in a while. And until it picks up with something different or new, there's, you know what I mean? I'm not going to be doing it again. So we'll see what happens, okay? All right. All right. All right, everyone. That's really it. Let's go ahead. Let's get to the plug segment. I'll quickly go through the plugs. Then we'll get to shout-outs because it seems like a decent group of people are already cheering, somebody tipping on the pre-stream here. And I want to give you guys your props before we get started with Burnout Paradise, and then we'll get started, okay? By the way, I will say this. If you are watching today's stream, I usually don't say this, but I should. This game does run at 60 frames on console, supposedly 60 frames per second. So if you want to get the full experience of that, you have to watch at the 720p quality. If you watch at a lower quality, it'll just be 30 frames and won't look as good. If you watch at the full 720, you'll be getting the full 60 frames. All right? So there you go. All right. Let's do some shout-outs. Oh, my God. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay. So, thank you guys for being very supportive over the last few months. Thank you guys for everything. It's been great. You know, Twitch has been going really well. The last few months of 2017, January was great. I'll be honest, last month it slowed down a little bit, but there were no new releases. I'm hoping things are going to pick up now again, that we have new releases coming out and everything's looking good again, right? So that being said, thank you for all your support here on Twitch. If you would like to become more than just a standard stream viewer or video watcher of mine, you'd like to go above and beyond and contribute in other ways to ensure that I can continue to do this as a full-time job and continue to put out free, fun streams and content for you on a daily basis, there are a few ways you can contribute to do that. The first would be by Patreon over at patreon.com/darksidephil, where your monthly pledges to my monthly campaign, number one, make it easier for me to afford the ability to do this as a full-time job. All right? It does. It makes it a lot easier. Defraying the cost of things like games, the cost of internet, the cost of equipment, which happens all the time. You know, new controller, new monitor, new storage device, new this, new that. It pops up all the time. All those things. You guys help me, you know, to afford all that through via your Patreon pledges, all right? But in addition to that, you earn fun personal perks for your contributions, like getting text or verbal thank yous in my videos, being able to nominate and vote on games for events, being able to get your questions answered on my Q&A show, which I do every other month, or even getting a private Q&A video made where you can ask me anything you want, and I'll answer from anywhere from 15 to 25 minutes in a video. You can do whatever you want with. Keep it for yourself, share it with your friends, you know, whatever. It's your video. That perk is actually so popular, some people do it multiple times because they love it so much. So, all that being said, Patreon's awesome. You know, check it out, patreon.com/darksidephil. And I'm very appreciative of those who are ongoing supporters. And, you know, again, if you do consider and or pledge to my Patreon, thank you very much. It helps me out tremendously. All right, that's number one. Number two, Teespring. All right, Teespring is a merchandise shop where you can get really cool t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, mugs, stickers. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, today, for the first time in a while, I'm wearing a Teespring shirt. This is one of the original designs from 2017. It's the skull design with the crown. This is the gray and pink version of the shirt. Although there is, I believe, an all white as well as an all red version of that design as well. And by the way, it's not just shirts. Hoodies, stickers, mugs, all kinds of stuff is available over there. Women's shirts, you know, everything is available over on my Teespring shop. Go give it a look, all right? So that being said, there's a new line of product, which you're seeing right now. It's kind of a spoof of the Red Dead Redemption logo, as well as a spoof of the Sonic the Hedgehog logo. There's a new Zombie Hunter logo, all right? All kinds of fun stuff. So please give it a look. And anything you buy from my Teespring shop, all right, anything you buy, it gives me a pretty sizable commission. It helps me directly. So thank you to everyone who does buy something from the shop. And then, you know, if you do happen to buy it and like it, please send me a picture on social media at They Call Me DSP, and I'd be more than happy to share that with my 25,000 Twitter followers. Let everyone see how awesome the merch is, okay? So there you go. Teespring's great. Thanks to everyone who's bought something from there before. And if you are considering doing something in the future, or even just giving it a look, thank you for that, all right? All right. And then, last but not least, ladies and gents, if you're here live on the stream, you're enjoying yourself. In particular, today's a new game that I'm playing. If you're having fun and you want to contribute by getting a shout out, maybe you want to say something with me, have some interaction with me, all right? Well, either cheer with bits if you subscribe to the channel, or if you tip me. If you do any of those things, I will give you a shout out during the course of today's stream, all right? Keep in mind that it is subjective, meaning depending on what you actually say in your you know, cheer, sub, or tip is going to depend on if I read it live on stream. Typically, things that are more positive, things that are either jokes or have to do with the gameplay itself, or even if it's just a quick general question. Those things are usually well accepted. Things that probably aren't going to fly. A negative comment, meaning an insult or something that's being really nasty, or something that has to do with drama or something on the internet that I'm not involved in or care about on a gameplay stream. You know, or giving me a very non-concise, incredibly long-winded comment, 14-sentence paragraph. I'm not going to read all that stuff, all right? You got to keep it as concise and as short as possible if you want to have, you know, have the higher chance of getting read and have that shared with everyone on stream, all right? So thank you, everyone, for your contributions. And, you know, I really love your interactivity during my gameplay streams. Really, it's transformed my stuff into something completely different. It was 1 year ago when I changed up my content in March of 2017 to be more interactive while I was playing Zelda Breath of the Wild, and you guys pretty much single-handedly, in a time when YouTube ad revenue was plummeting, you guys allowed me to continue to enjoy doing what I love doing for a living, and I would never want it to end, you know. It's that awesome that you guys are always so supportive, so thank you for that. And here we are a year later, still going strong, about to start up with brand new fun games. Thank you for that, guys. Thank you. Okay. Now, if you would like an additional on-screen visual notification for your contributions, there are certain criteria. If you cheer either 50 bits or more in one cheer, if you subscribe to the channel and then you click on the share button that will pop up after you sub to the channel, or if you tip me $5 or more. If you do any of those things, okay, you will get an on-screen thank you pop-up notification as well. All right, so it gives you both a visual as well as verbal recognition for whatever you contribute. So there you go, pretty awesome, right? And I do want to say shout out to Popsicolo, who is the current designer of all of our pop-up notifications that I use during the streams. They're really awesome. And, you know, awesome of him to make those for us, all right? Now, two final things I want to address, and then we'll get started here, everyone, with shout-outs, okay? Number one, we are in the midst of a big drive for subs. I'm trying to get my subscribers up. We are now in the middle of the month. Today is officially the middle of March. We have half of the month left, and starting today, every single day I'll be covering new release games. All right, every day, new stuff. So let's get hype. Hopefully people will be excited to subscribe to the channel for the first time who haven't. You know, we've got tons of fun emotes that are a part of, you know, all my ongoing stuff. I really enjoy the emotes and it's the way that people contribute. You know, you get a cool crown chat badge if you become a subscriber that will increase. You know, we got bronze, silver, gold, and the jewel encrusted gold coming up this November. Of course, we'll have the 2-year diamond crowns coming up. But yeah, thank you to everyone who is an ongoing supporter or a subscriber. If we hit a 500 total subs by the end of this month, I'll be bringing back the Patron's Choice playthrough, by which, if we hit 500 subs, patrons, which I've already mentioned, people who pledge to my Patreon, will be nominating and voting for a downtime fun playthrough for me to play when there's time in between new releases. Previous games that have won this event include things such as various Sonic the Hedgehog games, Super Mario Sunshine, Spyro the Dragon, Persona, and Yakuza. And that's just to name a few. There have been many more games that have won it over the years, but in particular, those are some of the big franchises that I've experienced as these Patron's Choice downtime playthroughs as a direct result of you guys and your support. So let's make it happen, man. We got less than 70 subs to go in order to hit 500. We could definitely do it. I know some people are going to be coming in over the next, 2 weeks who are not regulars, or maybe people who are just checking out stuff for the first time because of the new releases or whatever. And, get them to sub and get it in here. Let's get it to 500. I know we can do it. All right. So thanks everyone for your support in that regard. That's number one. Now, number two, folks, and this is very important, and I got to bring it up. I told you guys I'm going to be bringing it up every single day until, April passes. It's a pretty serious thing. All right. Right now, I'm in the midst of a little bit of personal trouble because of taxes. What happened was I moved to the state of Washington in 2014. I've lived here for almost 4 years now. When I moved here, my current tax attorney at the time, who lived in Connecticut, assured me that he was well-versed enough to be able to handle all my tax issues. He lied. And basically, he did my taxes incorrectly for 3.5 years. I was supposed to be paying state business and occupation tax in the state of Washington, and I didn't because this guy didn't do his due diligence and the research to tell me that I owed it. So I've been slammed with tax bills. First of all, I had to pay a big tax bill back in January because I had to pay for 2017 business taxes, which I did get through because of your guys' support. You guys really rallied at the end of last year. You helped me out. You got me past the January hurdle, and that's amazing. But now we're coming up on hurdle number 2. And this one, sadly, is bigger than the hurdle that we had in January, and allow me to explain why. First of all, I have 3.5 years of back... Excuse me, I misspoke. 2.5 years of back taxes that I owe that I don't have. That money I would have easily been able to save and pay over time. I don't have a giant lump sum of thousands of dollars just sitting around to pay for back taxes. All my money goes to my bills. So, sadly, now I'm being told that either in late March or early April, I'm going to have a completed assessment on what I owe for back taxes. And then I'm going to be told, oh, here you go, here's the bill. And hopefully they're going to put me on a payment plan. I just don't know what it's going to be, and I don't know what I owe. So I already know that's coming, and as soon as April, I'm going to have to start paying that at least on a monthly basis. All right, that's number one. Now, number two, because you guys rallied at the end of 2017 and helped me out with that state tax situation that was due in January, thank you for that. But that raised my overall income for 2017 more than it normally would have been. So now I owe the federal government an extra balance of new taxes because my income went up in December abnormally. So coming in April, I think it's by April 17th. I'm not sure yet because I'm waiting on word. I owe a big lump sum of whatever the money is that I owe for last year's federal taxes by the middle of April. Now that I may be able to cover because I've got some money extra from when you guys, again, helped me out back in December. And I've been doing pretty good, at least the months of December and January on Twitch were really good. So I've got a little bit of money saved up, and I think I may be able to get past that one. But then, on top of all those two other things, all right, On top of that, I've got a third tax payment also due in April. This is going to be the first estimated quarterly payment for 2018 for my federal taxes. So what does that mean? Well, when you are self-employed, all right, it's not like when you have a job where you get paid either hourly or salary and the taxes are automatically taken out of your paycheck. It doesn't work like that. You are expected every quarter of the year to just estimate what you're going to make, okay, profit-wise, and then pay taxes based off of the estimate of what you're going to make. Now, the problem is it could be completely wrong. You don't know what you're going to make at any particular time of the year when you're self-employed. Sometimes YouTube ad revenue is up. Sometimes it's down. Sometimes people are hype about a new release and Twitch is great. Sometimes it's not. I can't predict how things are going to go. So I can't accurately tell what I'm going to owe each quarter for taxes. So what ends up happening is you estimate. So let's say based on what I made in 2017 overall, what my income for the year, okay, well, if you make that again in 2018, then you're going to owe this amount of total taxes, divide that by 4. So then every quarter, you now owe this amount that you have to just pay flat. The problem is that's not how life works. And I'll be honest with you guys, the first 2 months of this year, January and February, were the worst ever that I've ever had on YouTube, and it didn't have to do with me or my channel's performance. My video views were up in the month of January. They were the highest they've been in almost 2 years. So things went really well in January. Yeah, I made the least amount of money I've ever made on YouTube because YouTube sucks. And see what I mean? I can't control that. YouTube couldn't bring in advertisers, so I make almost no money on YouTube videos for the month of January. That sucks, right? So now they're expecting me to pay this estimated quarterly payment at a time when for the past 3 months I've made less money than I usually do. Where's this money supposed to come from? That's how the federal government operates. They're idiots, basically. They don't actually look at how a business works and say, oh, there could be a spike this quarter and a dip this quarter, so let's just have them pay this amount when they have it. Instead, it's, oh, we just assume that you made that money no matter what. Pay us what you owe us. It's like, well, what the fuck? That's not how life works, right? So anyway, that being said, folks, in April, I've got back state taxes that I'm really not my fault that I'm going to have due. I've got this large lump sum of federal taxes due for 2017, and then I've got my first estimated payment for 2018, all due at once. And I don't know what they are yet. I'm supposed to be told soon. My tax attorney I know is working on this because he asked me for information over the last week, which I sent him. He's trying to finish it up. Okay. We'll see what happens and go from there. But I need your help, all right? How can you help? There's 3 ways you can help right now. Number 1, as I've already mentioned, Patreon. Pledge to my Patreon. Number 2, you can buy something from my Teespring shop. Or if you're here live on stream, number 3, the no-brainer would be to tip me. How do you send a tip during a live stream? Well, if you look below the stream, okay, there's a grid of information, including things like links to my YouTube pages, links to my website, the rules. There's also a tip section. Click on that. It takes you to the tips page where you can either leave an anonymous tip or you can leave one with a name and a message. Or if you are on a mobile device and you can't see that information, just type !tip into the stream chat. That'll bring up the link. Click on that and boom, takes you to the tips page as well. Why these 3 methods? Why does this help? It's very simple. Because these 3 methods, no matter what you do, if you pledge to my Patreon, buy something for Teespring, or you tip me, I get those funds right now. So it's in time. You know, with 1 month left, the big push, 1 month left until I have to pay these taxes. Anything you contribute in the next month via these methods, I get immediately, and I can put towards the taxes. All right? And they will. Trust me. They will be 100% towards that because I need to get out of this situation. To give you guys some perspective. Worst case scenario, if I can't pay these taxes in April, I'm going to have fees, interest, and all kinds of penalties accrued against me that will then grow. And it'll be a rolling problem over the course of 2018 because the next payment will be due in June. Then the next payment will be due in September and the final one in December. If I can't keep up with these taxes, the bottom line is, folks, I have no other methods of alternate income. There's nothing I can do to make extra money to pay this off. It's not like I have investments or savings. It's all gone. So, honestly, let's say come September, I'm still not current on my taxes and it's looking really bad. Sadly, it looks like I'll have to sell my house. I don't want to do that. I've worked 10 years to be a content creator for you guys on the internet. 8 years doing this full-time for a living. I've busted my ass. I've sacrificed, personal relationships, friendships, health to make this work. And at this point, my life is looking very positive. I'm starting a new life with my girlfriend, Kat, here in Washington. You know, she starts work very soon. Everything's going to be looking up. But if all of a sudden now in September, I'm like, fuck, that's it. I have to sell my house. That's terrible. Because now, number one, either I have to look to move to somewhere else around here that may be cheaper and then use the equity in my home to pay these taxes. That's number one. Or number two, I may just have to move back to Connecticut. That would be awful. You guys remember Connecticut. The weather was terrible. You know, my back injury constantly was aggravated because of snow and ice. The internet constantly had issues. The quality of my videos was bad because, number one, I don't have an office in Connecticut. So, you know, it would be echoey. It would sound like shit just like it used to. And we always had technical issues back in Connecticut, like constantly. And now that I rely on live streaming all the time, I can't have technical issues all the time. I can't have my internet down because then I can't stream and I can't pay my bills. So if I was forced to move back to Connecticut, it would be the worst case scenario. Oh, by the way, taxes are sky high. I'd go right back to paying high state taxes again, and everything would be all screwed up again. So that's like worst case scenario, man. Worst case. I hope it never comes to that. What I'm hoping is that you guys can help me out in this current situation. I can get through April. And then with all the new releases and everything coming out, with the fact that we've got a Street Fighter Anniversary Collection that should get a whole new demographic of people coming and watching my stuff for the first time in a long time, and having a good summer, hopefully everything will go good. You know, things are on the up and up on Twitch. I couldn't be happier. The problem is YouTube is down, and then all this shit with taxes happens at once. So it's like, the perfect storm of bullshit, and I really don't want to lose my 10 years of hard work and kind of go completely backwards here because of the fact of one asshole. It really does all hinge on the acts of one person, one irresponsible person who screwed me over here. If I didn't have this tax situation, I'd be fine, right? If I didn't owe these state taxes, everything would be good. I'd be able to afford everything. So it sucks, all right? So please, folks, if you want to help out, 3 ways. Pledge to my Patreon, buy something from Teespring, or probably the preferred method if you're a stream watcher, tip me during the streams, all right? And everything's very much appreciated that you guys contribute. All right, let's go ahead and do now some shout-outs based on you guys who have cheered, subbed, and tipped during the pre-stream. First of all, we had a few people who actually contributed overnight. If you guys aren't aware, some people actually think about me overnight, which I know is pretty interesting. That some people actually keep me in mind when I'm not even live streaming. That's pretty wild that some people actually think about me when the stream's not live and, I'm not playing a game. But they do. So thank you to those who keep me in mind and for your contributions. Let's give some shout-outs. We had Infinite55 who did 100-bit cheer. Thank you, Infinite. We had a person called Knox who tipped me $1 and said, Phil, I watched the upload of your pre-stream from yesterday. I just want to clarify something. On Twitch, they will not mute your entire stream archive when a copyrighted song is detected. They try to only mute the selection with the song in it. Okay, so if you guys aren't aware, this is actually good information. Thank you, Knox, for the tip. I appreciate that, for the clarification, because, I do not regularly archive anything on Twitch. I just don't. I archive my videos on YouTube, as you guys know. So here's what happened. I've been uploading my Bully playthrough to YouTube, and what happened is a few parts of the Bully playthrough have been content ID claimed, meaning the audio is still in them, all right, which is good. People can still watch them at full quality, and you can still hear the music or whatever. But a few of them had the ad revenue on them claimed by a third party because there was some copywritten music detected inside the video, okay? And that sucks, but that's just how it works now with games. Some videos are going to get detected, and you lose ad revenue. Nothing you can do about it, okay? Now, when I had my day off on Wednesday, I accidentally had left one of the archived streams of Bully here live on Twitch, meaning you could have gone back and watched the whole archive stream of 4+ hours if you wanted to. That was a complete accident because by contract terms, you're not supposed to do that. Not that it's a huge deal. I don't think I've ever heard anyone getting in trouble for it, but per advertisement contracts, you guys may not know this, if you put ads on a video on YouTube, or if you put ads on anything on Twitch, you're not allowed to put that content up somewhere else and monetize it. So having the same video content on 2 websites with ads on it is actually against the contracts of either business, okay? I know a lot of people probably still do it, but it's not allowed. Technically by law, it's not allowed. But anyway, I accidentally left this stream up, and then yesterday I noticed this. I said, oh shit, and it said stream audio has been muted. Now, admittedly, I did not click on the stream archive to see if all the audio had been muted or only certain parts, but it said right on it, big red letters, stream audio has been muted. So apparently what happened was during my day off, this archive of my bully stream was auto ran against some, listing of music. It found a copywritten song and boom, automatically muted it on Twitch. All right. And I think that some people have this misconception that Twitch is, oh, Twitch, don't worry about it. On Twitch, you could play whatever you want, any music, anything. You won't get in trouble. That's not the case. It's just that Twitch doesn't really do much about it during a live stream. But once you leave it up as an archive for people to go back and watch, that's when these things take effect on Twitch. Okay? So, what Knox is saying is that, at least usually, it seems like not the entire archive will be muted, but only the part where the song is playing. See, that's good, and it's bad. Here's why. On YouTube, if it happens, usually gets just content ID claims. So you can still watch the video, you can still hear the music, I just don't get paid for it. So that's a negative for me, but a positive for you. If you're watching a stream archive on Twitch and a copywritten song gets played, now it's muted. So I might get advertisement revenue on the video, but you can't hear the audio. Now what happens if this happens during a pivotal part of the game, right? Now you got a muted video. Me personally, I would prefer to retain the audio and just lose the advertisement rights on the video. I'm just saying, I think that's overall better for all of us. I'd rather have you guys engaged and watching the entire playthrough on YouTube and not feeling like disconnected because there's muted audio and shit, rather than watching an archive where muted, these different parts keep getting muted, right? I think that's more of it takes you out of the immersion and it disjoints the playthrough, in my opinion. It hurts the playthrough overall. So, in my opinion, I think the YouTube method is better. The problem is YouTube doesn't always do that. Sometimes YouTube does mute the video. Sometimes YouTube will block the fucking video, which I hate. You're watching one of my classic Grand Theft Auto playthroughs, and all of a sudden, oh, part 30 not available in your country. Part 31 not available in your country. Now you got to skip 6 parts to get back to watching the playthrough, and you've missed out an hour of gameplay. You have no idea what happened, right? That sucks. So, I don't think there's a solution to any of these. But anyway, thank you, Knox, for clarifying. FYI, guys, in order to avoid this, I am not going to be playing music in Burnout Paradise. It's that simple. I explained this yesterday. I'm not. I have to have the music muted during Burnout Paradise. It just has to happen. Because if I have copywritten music, pretty much the only people who will be able to hear are you guys here on stream. Anyone who watches it, either in an archive on Twitch or on YouTube, it'll all get fucked up. So, the music will be off. Nothing I can do about it. Alright. Shout out to Mr. Swaggins, who resubbed for the 3rd month in a row, earning himself his Silver Crown Chat badge. And he says, finally a new chapter in my life has been placed upon me. There you go. There you go, folks. Very nice. Thank you, Mr. Swaggins, for 3 months of support. And of course, Infinite and Mr. Swaggins have almost now been a week as trial mods. And in my opinion, they've been doing a good job. In general, I think it's been going pretty well. I should say this, if you guys haven't noticed, because I don't think he's back yet. Alright, there was someone in stream chat named Paddington Bear who had been banned. I did unban him. He personally came to me and apologized for his behavior and claims that he will never do any kind of negative, behavior again. He really wants to get back into the chat because he enjoys interacting with people on a daily basis. So I did forgive him, and I did unban him. Now, I have not seen him in the chat, but if he does come back, just so you guys know, that's why he's back, all right? And, if he sticks around and he behaves, great. Very happy to see him back and to see people, interacting with him and chatting it up. But that's the deal. That's why you may see him back. Now, again, if he acts up again, that's it. This is like the last straw, you know what I mean? He came and he personally apologized to me, so I'm like, okay, I'll accept that. I give him another chance, but this will be his last chance. All right? All right. Shout out to Johnny Saurus Rex, who cheered and said, admit it, you loved Need for Speed Payback. No, I did not. Then Johnny cheered again And he said, if the Rageathon ever gets voted in, can we see Need for Speed Payback Hard mode run through? Well, if you really wanted it, I mean, I own the game digitally. I could easily re-download it. And if you wanted me to try to play it hard, yeah, but... I mean... Yeah, that would cause rage, but I don't know if that's the kind of rage people want to see. I don't know if that would be funny rage. That just might be, like depressing rage. Like, we really want to hurt and torture Phil style rage versus just seeing Phil overreact to failing rage, you know? All right. Gungador cheer. And he says, I betcha that you're going to hate this game because it's very repetitive and it has outdated game design. Forza Horizon 3 runs at 30 frames per second. Those are two of the most disjointed thoughts I think I've ever seen in a cheer. So first of all, he thinks I'm going to hate Burnout Paradise because it's outdated. All right. That's number one. Number two, he says, Forza Horizon 3 runs at 30 frames per second. I don't even know what that means. Yes, it did. Okay. Was there a point to adding that? I mean, I'm very confused. So we've got at least one naysayer who thinks that I will not like this game. There you go. Fac316 just cheered, said happy Stone Cold Day. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Today, if you're not aware, is March 16th or 316. And Stone Cold 316 just said, what did it say? I can't say it because if I say it, that's using naughty language on Twitch. I will be banned immediately. So I cannot, I cannot repeat something that Stone Cold has said because it is too adult oriented. I'm sorry, guys. I can't. You'll have to go get a WWE Network subscription yourself and go back to the Attitude Era and watch Stone Cold in action in his heyday. Then you'll know what kind of stuff he used to say. But there you go. Today's Stone Cold 316 day. There you go. All right, shout out to the rapper named Drake, who cheered and said, want to play Fortnite? And then he cheered again. He said, congrats on making 395 viewers. Only 499,605 to catch up to me. First of all, it was not your stream. If I'm to remember correctly, wasn't it Ninja's stream and he had Drake on it? Right? So it was not your stream, sir. So you are false there, number one. Number two, you may not realize this because, you know, you're a rapper, but I don't look at my viewer count. I play games for fun, and I enjoy sharing those experiences with people. I'm not a micromanaging guy who's staring at the viewer count, staring at the views, staring at this, staring at that. I play games and have fun, and the support and positivity come because of that. All right? I'm not one of these, I'm not even going to start the stream till I get a tip today. Like, what? I heard some people do that. I don't know who, but I've heard some people actually do that. I'm not like that. All right? I'm going to play games, have fun regardless. You guys come join me, have fun with me. Great. All the more the merrier, right? And the positivity and the fun and everything comes as a result of that. I have not looked at stream attendance during a live stream. I'm not even kidding you. I think since like December. I just don't care. I don't care if there's 5 people, 200 people, 2,000 people, or 500,000 people. Although if there were 500,000 people, I'm pretty sure the stream chat would be completely illegible. And the mods would probably all quit and resign. But, I don't care. I don't. I'm only here to have fun. That's what it's all about, folks. So there you go. Shout out to Eternal Napalm, who did a 200-bit cheer and said, what are you guys hoping for in From Software's new game that was announced in December? I'll be honest with you. I hope there's something different. And what I mean by that is, not to say that I don't like the Dark Souls formula. I very much do. Demon Souls, Dark Souls, and Bloodborne. All incredibly similar games. Very similar, style. Bonfires / lanterns. The similar combat, although Bloodborne did refine that with instead of having blocking or whatever, now you've got the parrying with guns or whatever, right? But for the most part, they're essentially the same series. You know what I mean? Like, yes, it's a different franchise and a different plot line, but essentially you're playing the same game. You're just playing the natural evolution, right? I would like to see From Software completely leave their comfort zone and do something different. Because let's face it, we've seen that, production values of From Software games are quite good. All right, now, they've improved over time. You got to realize, originally, Demon Souls and Dark Souls were great games with a ton of content, but were pretty buggy in a lot of ways. Clipping, weird shit. The series definitely progressed on and got better over time. I would say Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3, although they still have their foibles, are much more refined and well-polished games. I would like to see From Software do something different. I would at this point, you know. Not to say I want to see Bloodborne end or not see a continuation of that style of gameplay, but I want to see that game company make something else. Diversify. Don't just make one kind of game, you know. But that's just me. I'm sure many people would say, oh, I don't. I just want to see more of that grueling, difficult challenge style gameplay. Okay, you know. I don't want that to go away either, but I like variety as well. So, shout out to Murdoch, who just subscribed to the channel. Thank you, Murdoch, for the subscription. I appreciate that. Shout out to Popsicolo, who cheered and said it might be worth seeing if it's allowed by Twitch to advertise Amazon Prime Student. If you have a .edu email, you can get Amazon Prime, which means 1 free subscription for 6 months, followed by discounted rate. That's what I use. So apparently, if you go to any kind of, you know, university, school, whatever that has a .edu email, Popsicolo here is actually saying that you can get, I guess, a free Amazon Prime or a specialized Amazon Prime. That's interesting. I certainly don't have a .edu email address anymore. So that's nothing that I could test, but maybe many of many of my viewers, I'm sure, are still, you know, you guys are still in school. So you might want to look into that. There you go. King of Hypocrisy cheered and said you should start your own religion called the Philistines. That way all your income will be tax exempt. There you go. There you go. If you can't beat them, cheat them. There's my new motto. If you can't beat them, cheat them. If you can't make a living, go ahead and just say you're a religion and then become 100% tax exempt. Why not? Unbelievable. And sadly, there are actually groups in the United States who've done this too, which is like, oh, God. Anyway, let's continue on. Murdoch cheered. I said, is there anything you could do about the shitty tax attorney? No. I've looked into it, all right? I have. I've looked into it. Sadly, when there is it's not considered malpractice, but I believe it's considered negligible practice. Like, basically, if it's proven that a legal counsel, with like a tax attorney, did not do their due diligence, but said that they did in filing your taxes, and it's their fault, the only thing that you can really do about it is you could sue them. All right, but you'd have to have evidence, which I do because I saved the emails. I'm not stupid. But you'd have to have definitive evidence that this person did not do what they said they would do. And because of that, you have concrete damages. I do. I'm going to have fees, interest. I'm going to have all this stuff that's going to hit me because I haven't paid these state taxes in, 2.5 years that I owed them. All right. Sadly, apparently from what I saw, I looked this up online. This was just a very cursory glance, but from what I understood from just looking online, I could only sue him for whatever the fees, interest, and that is. The actual tax amount, that I still owe legitimately, because that I would have owed regardless. So that, there's nothing I can do about. It's not like, oh, because this guy didn't do my taxes right, he pays all of my taxes for me. That's not how it works. Okay? So, yeah, all I would be able to do, let's say, for example, and this is just me completely estimating. Let's say that it's found that I owe $5,000 of back taxes to the state of Washington, and I have no idea if that's what it is. I'm going to find out soon, but I have no clue. I'm just pulling a number out of thin air. Now, let's say that now I'm told, well, you owe $5,000, but because you didn't pay it on time, we're going to assess $1,000 of fees. So now you owe $6,000. Oh, because you didn't pay it for 2.5 years, now we're going to add interest. And that's $1,500 of interest. So you actually now owe us $7,500, when in reality it should have only been $5,000, but because you're paying us so late, this is now what you owe us. All right. What I would be able to do is file a lawsuit against my former tax attorney for the $2,500 of fees and interest, but I'd still have to pay the $5,000. So all in all, it wouldn't even be worth it, because the cost of filing a lawsuit for just the fees and interest probably would become the cost of the fees and interest. You see what I mean? It would be one thing if we were talking tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And this was like, a situation where yeah, I spend a couple thousand and it may take a year or two in court, but then I get a ton of money to pay off what, what I owe. That's not the case. It's the complete opposite, where it's a small potatoes kind of deal. For me to actually take the guy to court would cost more money than probably what I'm going to get out of it anyway. All right. So that being said, no, it's not worth it. So that's why I would never pursue it. There's no point. There's literally no point to do it. All right. There'd be no profit. Some people, oh, well, aren't there those lawyers that'll do it for free and then they just take a part of the money settlement? Then what's the point? They're going to take a part of the money settlement. See what I mean? And it wouldn't be worth it for them. If I'm making $2,500, do you really think they're going to work 2 years on a case to make $200? See what I mean? So it's just not going to happen. It's not. All right. The British lad cheered and says, what has been your favorite racing game? I remember Driver San Francisco, which was a great playthrough. I can't really answer that, British lad, simply because I haven't really played too many racing games. If you remember, over the course of my years here on YouTube, I think I played MotorStorm Apocalypse, Need for Speed The Run, Driver San Francisco. Obviously, I've played various Mario Kart games. All right, I think I played the one that was on Wii U. And then, I played Forza Horizon 3, Need for Speed Payback. I'm trying to remember if I played any more. I think I did. I think I played maybe one or two more on top of those. All right. But again, I've barely played racing games. So I don't really think I'm a informed authority to tell you, oh, this game's good. Plus, let's face it, I play them so few and far between. There's such a spacing between when I actually play them. It's very hard for me to even remember the games. So for me to go back and say, oh, I remember MotorStorm Apocalypse is my favorite. Like, I remember MotorStorm Apocalypse, but I don't remember it like it was yesterday. And I certainly can't compare the experience I had playing MotorStorm Apocalypse, 7+ years ago with a game that I played now. You know what I mean? So I can't answer your question. I apologize to that British lad. I wish that I had, a better memory and or a better way to explain. I don't. So, there you go. Shout out to Mort, who took me $5 and said, what's the deal with homework? It's not like you're working on your home. Well, there you go, Jerry Seinfeld. Thank you for that tip. Appreciate it. Faith in 131 just resubscribed for the 13th month in a row and said, 13 months hype. Thank you very much for 13 months of ongoing support. Faith in, I do appreciate that very, very much. Coral Guy just cheered. He says, Phil, I would like you to leave your comfort zone and play Surviving Mars. It's incredible. I don't know what that is. Does anyone know what Surviving Mars is? This is the first I've ever heard of it. What is Surviving Mars? I don't know. Maybe I'll have to look into it. But the problem is, now you made this suggestion, but guess what? Now the new game, I'm playing this today. I'm playing this until next week when there's Sea of Thieves, then there's South Park, then there's Ni no Kuni, then there's Far Cry 5, then there's Batman. Oh, by the way, Assassin's Creed Rogue Remaster gets released, and I'm not playing that right away at lunch because I have other games to play. Then in April, we got God of War, then we got other games coming out, so I don't have time for that. See what I mean? We got so many games coming out in a short period of time. Now I don't have time to play this other game. There you go. All right. Shout out to Johnny Soros, who did a cheer on behalf of Derek. And Derek says, Phil, happy Stone Cold Day. And Austin 316 said, I just whooped your... Oh, I can't read that word. How dare you, Derek? I have to be very PG here on Twitch. You must know that. Derek also wonders, have you ever watched any season of MasterChef? Yes, I have. He's currently watching MasterChef Junior with kids from across America. I watched probably, I would say, the first 3 to 4 seasons of MasterChef. It's only been the past couple of years that I haven't watched. Mostly because, let's face it, during the time when... I had my breakup and things were all tumultuous. I wasn't really in line with all the stuff that I had been doing previously. So a lot of the shows and things that normally I would watch, I didn't even watch. And, so I kind of fell out of doing that. And now I'm trying to fall into a new pattern of watching new stuff and things. So we'll see. I mean, I definitely like the show. So we'll see if I get back to it. But no, I'm not watching MasterChef. And I've never watched MasterChef Junior. I think that's kind of silly. I don't want to see kids cook. I'm just saying. That's right, guys. I am a bigot. I do not want to see young people cook. I'm completely biased against young people. And I don't ever want to see them cook. Ever. I am an ageophile, if you guys aren't aware. Okay. Alright, guys. I think we have finally gotten through. Oh, wait. Chateau Myri just did 100-bit cheer and says, how is your back feeling? Well, I'll be honest with you, Chateau Myri. It's not feeling bad, but every once in a while it feels a little sore. It depends, you know, on what I'm up to or whatever. For example, I was out all day on Wednesday. That was my day off, and I was literally all day out of the house, driving, going around, doing stuff. And by the time I got home, my back was shot. It was sore, right? But then, you know, yesterday I had a normal day at home, working, streaming. Now it's back to normal. So that's kind of what happens with my back. It fluctuates depending on the weather, depending on things I'm doing. But it is nowhere near as bad as it used to be in Connecticut, that's for sure. There you go. All right. So now, I believe, I've gone through all the cheers, subs, and tips. Thank you guys very much for your support. We're up to 435 subs and growing, right? So let's keep it going. Let us see what we can do. Let's keep it going. Maybe we can hit 500 subs. That'd be great. Again, reminder, folks, the best way you can help me right now with this upcoming tax situation, either pledge to my Patreon, buy something off my Teespring, or you can also, excuse me, you can also tip me during the streams. Tipping is probably the way that most people would consider doing it, simply because you get the shout-out / visual pop-up during the streams. I understand that. So, yes, please, anything you can contribute, much appreciated, to hopefully get me through this tax situation so, you know, I don't have to sell my house by the end of this year. Okay? All right, guys. Thank you very much. And it is now time to begin with Burnout Paradise. I'm going to have to boot the game up and turn the music off before we can play it. It is what it is. But let's see how it goes. I hope you guys are excited. I'm excited. Let's see. All right. All right. Let's do this. Drum roll. Ready? It's time for the main event. Here we go.